Everybody, it's me, Tokkuri Yashi. Today we're going to have a look at Prifest Aira, who is the first of two Prifest characters we are going to be getting this month. Back-to-back Prifest banners. That is unprecedented. Aira, she was introduced into the game back in the 6th anniversary along with Eris and Shinatsu, who is going to be the second of the Prifest characters this month. That was a year and a half ago, and it's taken a year and a half for her to get into the game to be released as a playable character in the game. So, first of all, let's have a look at her Prifest banner here until the 8th of September. And as we can see, or as we can't really see here, it is double rates. It is double rate banner, so 6% chance of getting a 3-star character. We did do our summons for Aira yesterday. If you haven't checked them out, then please do so. Probably couldn't have told, you could have tell that it was that it was a double rates banner from my summons, but nevertheless it is. And it has all Prifest characters on it, like you can potentially get from this banner, and you can spark them as well if you really want to go to Spark to get them, or unfortunately ended up going to Spark to get them. There's one thing that I need to mention about this banner. If you was planning on skipping this Aira banner, trying to get it on the Shinatsu banner, that is coming on the 8th, as we can see here, well, then that plan is not going to work. They have thought of that in side games, and if we jump over here to the Princess Connect website here, we can see for the information on the banner, this is what you can actually see is three-star rates are doubled. We can actually see that here a little clearer. But what we're here for is to have a look at the sentence down here where it says Aira will not appear in the Princess Festival Gotcha or Limited Start Dash Gotcha to be held on the 8th of September, ending on the 16th of September. Now that is Shinatsu's banner, which means the next time you're going to be able to get Aira from a banner, if you do not get it on this one, will be the end of the year. It will be December the 31st, thereabouts, for the New Year's Prifest. So bear that in mind when you are deciding to, if you've decided to maybe skip this banner, the next time you're going to get Aira will be the end of December. Maybe that's you think that's a little bit of a stinky move from side games doing that, but I suppose you can understand why they did it. Anyway, let's have a look at this. In this image here of Aira, first of all, we can see she is an attacker role character. She's on the fire element. She is a physical character, and she sits pretty far forward at the front in position 213. That does mean, though, she is behind cannon, so we could still use her with cannon as a tank. Those two together, I think, are going to be pretty formidable. Now, we'll have a look at the loop pattern down here. We can see she does her skill 2 as her first action when she enters the battle, and she does have 2 loop patterns here. When she does a union base the first time, she will enter this second loop pattern. It's a little bit difficult to see it down here, so I'll bring it up here. She changes to this second loop pattern when she does her first union base, and as we can see there, all the normal attacks tend to special 1 attacks, which means they are a little bit stronger. So let's jump in to Aira then, and we'll have a look at her skills in a bit of detail. So here we have Aira, the Flame Fister is here. Let's have a look at her skills then. I think this character is quite a simple character in terms of her skills, but that does not mean simple is bad. So first of all then, the Union Burst here, we can see inflicts physical damage twice to all enemies within range, centered on the enemy character with the lowest physical defense, 1.2 times physical attack, double instance, and a 400 range. She also inflicts a very large physical damage to one enemy character with the lowest physical defense. That's single target, 14.4 times physical attack. After the first use of this Union Burst, every time Aira attacks an enemy, the damage she deals to the enemy is increased. So this effect is, it accumulates up to 100 times. Damage that she deals will increase by 1,500 every time she attacks for a maximum of 100 stacks. I mean, that's 150,000 extra damage per attack every time she attacks. Once she's done 100 stacks, we'll have a look how long it takes to get 100 stacks. That might take a while, but we'll take another look at that when we give her a little bit of a test, how quickly that actually builds up. So in addition, the behavior pattern will change, and as we can see, we have two loop patterns down there at the bottom of the screen, as we've already touched on slightly. Normal attacks become enhanced normal attacks. Enhanced normal attacks deal physical damage to an enemy character in front of you, and deals physical damage to all enemy characters in front twice. So it's 1 times physical attack damage to the nearest enemy, and 0.3 times physical attack damage to all enemies twice. Remember, this skill is going to be getting stronger every time she attacks. 1,500 damage added to this every time she attacks. I've been trying to have a little look as well what just a normal attack actually is, how it's calculated, what the formula is, and I couldn't really find anything anywhere. I think it might be just 1 times the physical attack stats. So in effect, if that is right, what this does has added double instance AoE damage to her normal attacks. So there we go, that is her union based. Let's have a look at this skill 1 here. This is really simple, as you can see here. Very small. This could be a character from years back with something this small, but that doesn't mean it is bad. This skill inflicts heavy physical damage twice to one enemy character with the lowest physical defense, which is single times, 3 times the physical attack, double instance as we mentioned. Also slightly lowers the physical defense of, this is 0.3 times the skill level, so currently mine is 109 physical defense down for 18 seconds. It gives it a very basic passive, a passive that could be, like we said, on a character that was released several years ago. But it doesn't mean that she's bad, like I said. Skill 2 then. This skill here inflicts physical damage twice to all enemies in front of you. All enemies damage then there's 1.2 times physical attack, as we said, double instance, and slightly increases her own physical attack power by an extra large amount. So it's a self physical attack buff here, 85 times skill level. Currently there we have 30,855 attack permanently. This is a permanent buff, 180 seconds. She will be stacking this throughout the fight. Slightly also increases her own damage of physical attack crits. So it's a physical crit damage buff of 4%. Again, a permanent buff, which is going to be stacking as the fight goes on. And as we see, the loop pattern, she does this skill 2 1 in every 5 actions. So it looks like it could really be stacking up. It could be stacking up quite quickly there, actually. Not bad at all. So there we go. That is our Prifest Aira. As I said, very, very simple. Purely DPS. She stacks her own attack, and she does a little bit of physical defense down. Nothing else for the team. She is there for pure damage. When I first looked at this kit, I thought she was very similar to Alpha Christina. She is the fire version of Alpha Christina with a few little differences there. Very good on a single target, very good on multiple target teams, a pure DPS. So let's send her into a few battles then and see what damage she does and how she compares with some of the other big DPS characters that we have on this fire element. First of all then, we're going to send Aira in on her own. Now what I wanted to do here was try and see if we could tell how many times she had stacked this attack buff for her skills, up to 100 times. But it doesn't appear to be an indicator of that. But we can see here, she hasn't done a union burst yet, and her normal attacks, boom, 1 instance of damage. So now she does a union burst, so that's swapped her to a second attack pattern and given her these enhanced normal attacks. And we can see every time she does a normal attack there, now triple instance damage every normal attack that she does. Then she's boosting herself with a skill 2. That's double instance damage as well. Another union burst. And then she'll do her normal skills again. And we'll see there triple instance damage on every normal attack if there was more nodes there, if it was a multiple target opponent, then every node would be getting hit with them as well. So maybe we just have a quick look at that. So let's send her in then on her own against a multiple target opponent here. So have a look at this normal skill boost that she gets when she does a union base. So first of all, you can see she comes in, she's not union based yet, she's on a first attack pattern. In normal skills will only do one instance of damage on that first node. Can we see that? Just their normal attack there with just one damage on the front node. Now she's union based. This will put her into her second attack pattern, giving her an enhanced normal skills. We'll unset her there so that you can see it a little bit better. There we go. Now when she does a normal attack, she is hitting all of the nodes 2 times, well, back 2 nodes twice, and then she's hitting the front node 3 times. So that's 7 instances of damage there on this 3 node boss when she's just doing a normal attack. There we go, look at that, all the damage there on that normal attack. Right, so now let's send her in some teams, compare her damage to other characters that we have on this fire physical team. Let's send Aira in then against a single target opponent here on a single target fire physical team. Let's send this team in, see how she does in terms of damage on here. As we can see, we don't have Prifest Christina on this team. I mean, she was already slightly out damaged by Cannon, and now we've got Aira as well, so there is quite a bit of competition for a single target DPS on this fire physical team. Now let's come back when we are close to the end of the battle and we'll see what our damage numbers are looking like. We are back then with about 20 seconds to go, and it's probably hard to see at 3 times speed, but every time Aira attacks, it's crit, 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 crit. Everything is a crit. Her crit chance has built up so much. That's her damage in a crit. Look at that. Hitting the damage cap quite consistently there with her union base attack there. So, single target fire physical then. Let's have a look at who did the most damage on this team. As we can see, Aira is outstretching Cannon again. And Cannon had already outstretched Christina, so on a single target physical team, Aira is certainly a top option. So now let's go and send her in to a multiple targets opponent and we'll see how she does there. So here we are then with the multiple target opponent. We've only changed the team up very slightly. We've taken out Cannon and the Astral Yori, and we've stuck in Muimi and Fubuki as they are also multiple targets options. So let's send this team and see how it does. Hopefully Muimi will be able to tank here. Now it is Muimi who also is a Prifest who is a little bit worried about what Aira is doing here. How could one previous character has been introduced into the game, Aira, and she has at least reduced the usage of 2 other previous characters here, Muimi and Christina. I think Christina maybe has a little bit more to worry about as we have more physical single target options than we do multiple target options. So let's see what the damage is there. We'll be back in a second when we get closer to the end of the fight. Just under 20 seconds to go then, and Muimi is hanging in there, even taking the extra damage of that Kusagaki Fubuki there, who's a little bit of a coward. But what we're interested in then is the damage, and it is huge damage. You can see there, 1.6 billion in total against this training boss. Billion, yes, billion. And damage reports a single target with Muimi and Fubuki, who are probably the best multiple target DPSs on this fire team. She has outstretched them as well, so working extremely well on both single target and multiple target teams. So there we have it. A very good DPS character. Very simple though, not doing much, just pure damage, stacking their own attack, a little bit of physical defense down, which is not really anything to particularly note. But as we saw there, the best DPS by far on Fire Physical, both for single target and multiple target teams. Doesn't really have a huge amount of help for her allies, but she's going to be carrying the damage. She's the one that is going to be benefiting from all of the support and help around her. A character that's definitely going to be used in clan battle, going to be used in deep quest, going to be used in most of the events that we have on this Fire Physical team. Maybe she may even get used a little bit off element. We'll have to see about that. We'll have to see about that. Also, I think she's probably going to be quite good in a PvP as well. I do have a team with Cannon in it in PvP that was doing pretty well. I'm going to swap Cannon out and we're going to put Aira in, and we're going to see if she's a better option. I think she might just be there. So there we go. That is Prifest Aira. Let me know what you think of her, how you did with your summons. If you're summoning for her, good luck to you. I bet if you haven't summoned yet. And well, we're going to get Shinatsu very soon to accompany her, but he's going to be a wind. Shinatsu is wind. Anyway, that is Aira. I'm Tokkuri Yashi. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all in another video. Bye 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 bye. Hey.